All right, let's do it. Hey, everybody, welcome in. We got a lot of more viewers tonight, which is exciting. But everyone, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show, episode 39. Am I right, Brad?
Yes.
Well, and for people that don't know, I'm Ryan, and there is Brad. He's in studio today.
What's up? What's up?
How are we feeling? Good?
Feeling much better, yes.
And we got Rocco hiding somewhere behind the screen. Let's see if we can find Rocco here for a second. Rock?
Hold on, I got you.
Oh,
man.
Oh, maybe not.
There we go.
There he is.
When you mute me on the countdown, you got to remember, Rip, to like add me back to the stage. And I just want to put this out there. We're not late, not starting on time because of me. We're not starting on time because Zach took a little bit extra to pick out his outfit tonight.
Well, it's not about no one was attacking you here, Rock.
Yeah,
well, it usually does. So, just want to get ahead of that.
Well, you got ahead of it. And speaking of the outfits, 'tis the season, right, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, come on, baby. This is two straight. That first Halloween, I come in the cow suit, and now I'm just festive and no one else.
I am sad that the battery that it doesn't light up. I am sad about that.
Yeah, I know. I tried to find the battery pack for it, and the lights on this. Oh, baby.
If you had the lights, I wish you actually told me a little bit more that you were going to do this, because I had some good Christmas gear I could have brought, but you would have thought that maybe I would have been thinking more ahead.
How does that fare with the ladies?
This actually I wore to my freshman year winter formal. So this is why I own this suit. That was the night that
it's an attention grabber.
Yeah, and that's when it lit up too.
Hell yeah.
That's what you call peacocking.
Yeah.
And you were definitely peacocking. There's no way you can't lose in that outfit.
No, you can't. I actually won
can't.
Shittiest pledge. That was my award. I won that.
And for so many reasons, that's
one
fitting,
man. That's
Gosh. Well, hey, for everyone, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We do this every Monday and Thursday. It's going to change around the holidays. For instance, we are not going to do Christmas night, so we're going to probably do Tuesday just to let people know. And if you're new, like and subscribe. And if you're back again, thanks for coming back. I see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces, so this is great. Ask away, be engaged. And if you want to make fun of us, we love it, especially with the guy on the screen next to me. And
I was going to say, I'm kind of asking for it. I can't wait for the comments on videos for people to be like, 1, his outfit's stupid. 2, Brock Purdy's MVP. That's what's going to happen. 49er fans are going to eat me up in this outfit.
Well, so that is one of the topics we're going to get into tonight. As we know, we'll run it down. We have our spicy topics for this evening. Then we're going to take our ride on Adam's Jeep around Maryland, talk about what's going around with the Maryland sports. And obviously, there's that big game on Christmas night that everyone's been looking forward to. It's the game of the year. And that's not biased. It's got the two best teams in the NFL. They're going at it Christmas night. What else could you ask for besides maybe a Ravens victory on top of it? But without further ado, I think it is time to dive into our first spicy topic. What do you think, Brad?
Let's do it.
All right. So first spicy topic of this evening. Actually, it goes to a rival of the Baltimore Ravens. And if you've been watching the news recently, it's not for the right reasons. It's been because of the lack of, you can say, effort, lack of accountability. But we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who really have had the roughest of weeks. The last 3 weeks, you lose to the Cardinals, you lose to the Pats, then you lose to the Colts. But what's being discussed now is effort. And specifically, George Pickens has been under fire because of the lack of effort, including on a play where Jaylen Warren was trying to score. And George Pickens said, no, thank you. I'm not being a part of this play. And I don't know if we have the actual video here, but we have the video, but we also have Pat McAfee that talks about this situation a little bit more. So let's take a look at this and talk about it after.
George Pickens talking about the blocking play.
The Jaylen Warren run toward the end zone, what'd you see on that? And would you handle that differently if you had to do it over again?
No, I was just trying to prevent the Tank Dell situation, the same thing that happened to Tank Dell. I didn't want to get an injury. When you stay on the block too low, you can get ran up on very easy. So
Is there some people questioning your effort?
All the people that's questioning my effort, they don't play football. They do what y'all do.
Okay, so I do appreciate that he has built up quite a hatred for the media. He did a interview, a press conference at his locker in another interview portion here the last couple of days. And he took a couple shots at guys that never played ball before, guys that obviously building up a lot of narratives about me. He's heard it all, I think. And that was, he was using his outside voice for that particular. You should have kept that one inside. Yeah, I think that's our big takeaway as soon as we hear it, because anytime somebody who wants to build a narrative about somebody hears something like that, they are definitely going to be like, I ain't want an injury. Yeah. Okay. Is that, I ain't want an injury. That's why you're not going to give effort. And that got real loud. Remember, George Pickens can throw people around and has demonstrated that he would throw people around. Here's some clips from last year. See you later. And he even mentioned this in his press conference. He said, last year, he was down at the bottom there. He said, the last year, people were telling me how good of a blocker I am. Now the same people telling me I'm not the same blocker and everything like that. So George Pickens is certainly a target of conversation in Pittsburgh, around the Pittsburgh sports media.
I mean, are people saying he's not a good blocker suddenly, or people saying he's not giving effort blocking? Because I haven't seen anyone like Pat McAfee just showed. George Pickens coming out of college, physicality was not a question with George Pickens. It was the attitude issue. It was, is he going to buy into a team if he is not a star? And slowly, it's like Pat McAfee said, if people are going to try to create a narrative about you, say you don't care, you're not a team player, when you give an answer like, oh, I was going to block for him, but I didn't want to get injured myself, that will be used against you.
Well, that's just the thing, right? Like McAfee was showing a lot of the footage from last year when the Steelers were actually in it a little bit more, and not really as not really as much of a mess. Goddamn.
Get it out of here.
Not as much of a mess. I was trying so hard to hang on to it. How do you do this, Rocco? How do you not sneeze on TV?
He doesn't know. He just look at him.
You just sneeze on TV anyway?
Yeah. Well, hey, to give context here for a second, and then we can get from Rocco, we can bring Rocco back from behind the scenes. But the context of it, I want to say first off, he mentioned Tank Dell. For those that don't know the situation of Tank Dell, Texans wide receiver, lost for the season. There was a play at the goal line, running play. Tank Dell got rolled up on. I think it was a fractured leg. Done for the season, right? And that's a huge part of their offense. So I understand the worry. Here's where the problem is when your team just lost 2 straight games, and there's been trouble with, obviously, offensive production. Your offensive coordinator gets fired, and then you continue to lose games. And then, yes, maybe the ball hasn't been distributed the way that you'd want, and everything seems to be going against Pittsburgh. And this is where the problem is that you have guys continuing to fight, and that's what they're looking at with George Pickens, is that when the shit gets tough, what do you do when the shit gets tough? And right now, Pickens is making business decisions of saying, well, I'm doing what's in the best interest of my team, And now the play in question, Jaylen Warren, the running back, was asked about it, Brad. And I think we have that graphic right here.
Yeah.
And so Jaylen Warren was just asked, if I was in that position, I would have blocked for him. Speaking of George Pickens. And so this is the message where in a locker room, you don't want to be known as that guy. And I'm sure the Pittsburgh Steelers are having internal conversations, right? It's understandable, but you can't say those types of comments out loud. McAfee's right. You got a comment that you're pissed about, don't give anybody any other reason to hate on you and shit on you.
Well, and Tomlin actually addressed this with the media too and said that, like, hey, like, basically called Pickens out for saying something like that, and then also was like, that's basically not the standard, as what he as he always likes to quote. So I mean, so it wasn't even just that Jaylen Warren came out and said something about it. His own coach came out and said something about it too. So like, I understand like trying to defend him as far as like his level of effort, but listen, the optics are that you don't give the same type of effort as you have been giving. So George Pickens can sit there and shit on the media all he wants, but he's in control of his own narrative.
Yeah. And I think Dan Orlovsky brought up a great point today. I'm not sure which one of the shows it was on, but he said he's been on a lot of bad teams. And when you're on a bad team that has not a bad clubhouse, but you're not winning games, That's the stuff that happens. You have guys not blocking for each other. You have guys calling each other out. And he said it's weird because throughout his whole playing career, that was never the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it is still weird. The Steelers you would never think are, oh, they're going to have locker room issues. And then suddenly the past 5-6 years, it just feels like each year there's another issue. So I'm not sure if the luck just ran out or what happened, but Dan Orlovsky's right. This is not the Steelers that you think of. You don't think of, oh, they have a bunch of, their locker room's horrible, they don't get along, anything like that. Usually it was, oh, that's a team we're worried about because they are so together going towards the same prize, and Tomlin's got them playing on all cylinders.
Yep.
Yeah, and winning fixes a lot of things. And that's why it's a great message for anyone. Everyone's watching you. It don't matter what's going on. There is a camera on you. If you're going to play on this level and this stage of your career and have the opportunity to play in the NFL, you don't do something, it's going to be magnified. And when you're on an organization that has a certain standard and now the standard's not being met and everyone's talking about it, it's going to be more magnified. Rocco, I know you're hiding behind in the curtain here. Let's bring him back out, Brad. Can we bring him back out? There he is. I mean, hey, it's are you shaking your head of the comments, or are you shaking your head because of the effort or the video and the comments that happened?
Just everything, man. Everything about this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers has been just an absolute dumpster fire. And this is going to be, you're going to look back, and obviously for the Steelers, they're going to wish this season would have gone much differently. They've now lost 3 straight, like you talked about. 2 of those games were to the Patriots and Cardinals, 2 of the worst teams in the entire league, inexcusable losses. And then you lose to the Colts. But this season has been filled with moments like this, from wanting to get rid of your offensive coordinator and Matt Canada, everyone trying to run him out of town because the offense was just terrible at that point in time. It's still not great at all. To the Deontay Johnson not going after the fumble, the whole ordeal inside the locker room that was reported. And then you have this with George Pickens, Ben Roethlisberger's comments about this isn't the Steelers' way, players responding to that. So there's been a lot of talk from the outside and on the inside, and it's not good for this organization at all. And with George Pickens, so that's just not winning football by any means. He's 22 years old. He's still young into his career, and I hope he has a very successful career, because this is a dude with a ton of potential, and he's got a skill set that speaks for itself. But his attitude with a play like that, to take it off. So you're telling me, if I am a GM, a coach, an owner of the team, that you're okay with your player, your teammate potentially getting hurt, and you care more about yourself than your teammate? Because what if the guy that George Pickens was supposed to block comes in and takes out Jalen Warren's legs, and he breaks his leg, or he tears up his knee? George Pickens is going to feel really bad about that going forward. So, and that's going to weigh on his mind and his conscience. So to me, that's just not winning football. It's inexcusable. And Jalen Warren, he said it. We read those comments. He said, I would have blocked for him, but he also say we play differently, which is true. But you're out there. It's a brotherhood. You're on the field with your teammates, your guys. And the expectation is you go out and you make the plays necessary to play winning football, to get that win, and to see your brothers, your teammates succeed, and to get that guy in the end zone. And George Pickens, he simply didn't do that. And it's something that I hope he takes a long and hard look at it. And he says, you know what? I don't want to do that again going forward. I want to be the guy that makes that play, that makes that winning play, and that can get our guy in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone on this panel here has a feeling about Christian McCaffrey. We all believe he's a phenomenal player. But you know what the San Francisco 49ers – you know what the San Francisco 49ers do as good as anybody? Their wide receivers finish plays. They are blocking all the way downfield.
They take pride in it.
It's a mentality, right?
Yeah. Even Zach's favorite player, Brock Purdy, is running downfield chasing after Christian McCaffrey when he has those long runs. Right, Zach? Your MVP, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you know who I did see? Got to give him credit. Monday night, 2 or 3 runs where Drew Lock was throwing some blocks downfield on that one touchdown. He threw the ceiling off the edge. I was like, Drew Lock wants this thing. And that, like you said, Rocco, it's part of that brotherhood. It's, I want to help this team succeed. It's the we, not me attitude.
Yeah.
And, just not to beat a dead horse, but it was George Pickens' ability was never in question in college. He was always if the attitude was better, he's a top 15 pick. And
Even
the
back to
Steelers
high school,
knew
man.
that.
Even back to high
Yeah,
school.
the Steelers knew that. And I think Tomlin was like, hey, I like my chances of controlling him. And like you said, Rocco, you hope because he has so much talent and he's so much fun. The catches this man makes are ridiculous. So it's better for the NFL when he's playing at a high level. You just hope that he can do enough and fix this off the field attitude stuff so it doesn't impact the on the field play like we're starting to see.
Yeah, and I want to make one point right here because this was brought up about where is it that I just missed? Because there's another similarity, not similarity, but Tua has been criticized his entire career, right? He can't play with somebody, and he'll honestly and objectively say, well, hey, I've heard what you guys are talking about. He says, I keep the receipts, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on my team. There's a way that you can do it. As soon as you spin it about why you don't do something and say about an injury and then criticize the media, whether it's right or wrong, you're just going to look like an ass. That's just the reality of the situation. And so in this case, when it rains, it pours. That's what you're seeing in Pittsburgh. And they are at an identity crisis, something that they really have dealt with over the last 5 or so years, but specifically these last couple of years. Ever since Big Ben left, you can kind of see this next wave of guys. I'll tell you what, Hines Ward, when he was there with Pittsburgh, he would have been right in the thick of everything. That dude, you could have hated him in Baltimore, and he laid out Ed Reed on that blind side. But Hines Ward, that physicality, that type of presence is what Pittsburgh's missing right now. Moving on. This is really kind of spicy here. We all know that the Chicago Bears are going to have to make a decision in the offseason. They are most likely going to have the number 1 overall pick because the Carolina Panthers traded that pick to the Bears, and the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL right now.
Not good at the game of football.
Not very good.
No.
But the dilemma here is, are the Bears going to move on from Justin Fields and draft a quarterback, say Caleb Williams? And right now, we have a couple different angles we want to put this. The first one is Dan Orlovsky was asked about what to do in the situation. I think we have the quote and graphic here, Brad, if you want to allude to it a little bit more.
Yeah. So Dan Orlovsky, this is, usually I agree with almost everything Dan Orlovsky says. The dude is always has sound takes. Mm-hmm. This one I just don't understand. He said, I think Caleb Williams is a more talented player coming from out of college than Justin Fields was. He's Lamar Jackson, he's Patrick Mahomes, and he's Josh Allen all combined into one. Now, what I will say is, if you want to say that Caleb Williams is more talented than Justin Fields coming into the draft, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. But to sit here and say that Caleb Williams, especially after the season we saw from USC,
not impressive.
Is all three of those guys combined? Get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. I mean, Lamar Jackson's Heisman Trophy winner, just absolutely, like, you look at his college footage and his entrance into the league was absolutely insane. He went 6-1 that year. I just don't see how Caleb Williams is going to do that and have the same type of numbers. The Josh Allen, I could see him maybe having a Josh Allen type of rookie season where Josh actually made it into the playoffs, was out the first game against the Cowboys. This notion that he's all three of them combined makes no sense to me. That's a bit bold.
Yeah, that's the boldest thing right there, is that you're combining the top three of the best quarterbacks in the world into one player that's never played in the NFL.
Yeah,
and that's even unfair to Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
to be like, oh, dude, you are the best quarterback to ever play, ever. Because Josh, we've seen what those guys are doing at the pinnacle of it. And that's the part that I just don't understand at all, Zach. I mean, it's
me and Brad, we talked about before the show, Trevor Lawrence got the same sort of treatment, and he was seen as he's going to show up. It was the tank for Trevor. He's showing up, and he is going to change the face of your franchise. He is going to be Patrick Mahomes. By year 2, you're going to be going to Super Bowls, everything. Trevor Lawrence is a top 7 quarterback in the league and is one of the bright young stars of the league. But he kind of feels like he didn't necessarily pan out because he didn't
live up to the hype.
Yeah. So it's weird. Even though when you look at it, you're like, Trevor Lawrence, what he's done for Jacksonville is incredible, and he's one of the top talents.
Yes.
Coming in, he was supposed to be oh, he's Patrick Mahomes by year 2. And that's so much to put on these guys because, one, when you're drafted first overall, you're not going to a talented team. This is one of those rare instances where it's another team's first pick, so he's got more talent around him. But still, it's hard to put that pressure on, like you were saying, and expect him to, okay, once we draft you, we're perennial Super Bowl contenders. That's not how it works. So it sucks when they put the pressure like that on these guys of, oh, he's Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, all them combined, because like you said, he just had a good year for USC. Just let him develop and take the pressure off him.
Yeah, and on the other side, Rock, we're going to play a video here because on the flip side here, the other component of this is that there are NFL players going to bat for Justin Fields. And actually, one of the best defensive players in the league, possibly the best right now, and Micah Parsons, had a little clip of him talking about how he feels the Bears can be with Justin Fields for next season. So we're going to play this, and then, Rock, I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that this is something that you agree with or not? So let's play that if we can, Brad.
I have the ESPN one.
Oh.
I don't have the Micah Parsons one. Where did that one go?
Well, I thought it was right on there. Well, you can play whichever one you have here. Why don't you play and we'll react.
Okay.
Does the accountant in you, the capologist in you, view this decision?
Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. And I like Justin Fields. Let the record show this is not an anti-Justin Fields. This is called the salary cap. Something I tried to explain to D. Wood a decade ago. Obviously, I didn't do a good job.
You didn't care about it when you paid him.
Yeah, exactly. So let's be clear, Greeny. Bryce Young, the first pick in the draft, averages $9,488,000. Justin Fields, plus or minus, will be $35 to $40 million a year. Daniel Jones, and let's say it's Atlanta in a trade. I'd rather have Caleb Williams, who has higher upside, in my opinion, plus roughly an additional $30 million a year to improve the team. Here's the context. Gardner Minshew this year is making $1,750,000. Daniel Jones is making $40 million. Context matters in roster construction.
Okay.
All right, so Rock, I ask you here, if you were the GM here and after hearing Mike Tannenbaum, former NFL GM, what would you do? Where do you lean in this situation?
I honestly don't know, man. I really don't, because Justin Fields last season showed flashes of how good he could be, how explosive he could be with his legs and with his arm. But this season, we really haven't seen that Justin Fields. And if you can start fresh, and if you can start what's Justin Fields age-wise, he's 24. How old's Caleb Williams?
He is
off the top of my head.
He's going to be like
22.
20, yeah, I was going to say
22 years old. He'll be 23 during the season next year.
So not that much younger.
If you think Caleb Williams can truly be better than Justin Fields and take your team and your franchise to the next level, then I agree, start over. But I think the Bears have more problems than just a quarterback right now. I think quarterback is obviously the position that everyone's going to kind of throw under the microscope and everyone's going to talk about. But from coaching, from the offensive,
they have no run game.
What's that?
They also have no run.
Yeah, you don't know who the running back's going to be on any given day. It's like, man, I think there's the Bears have bigger fish to fry. But if you think that, do I agree with Tannenbaum as far as the salary cap and all that, you could spend more money if you go out and get Caleb Williams? Yeah, absolutely. If you think that's going to be better for the long haul and you could build a better team around Caleb Williams than you can around Justin Fields, then absolutely, by all means, go with Caleb Williams. But that's the only reason.
Oh, sorry. I hear what you're saying, Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco, get out of here. See ya.
Take me out.
So I thought you were done with your thought. Like, I hear you on that, and I feel like you took the safe approach, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just calling. Well, I just meant as far as like
he joined back,
telling the GM like well, if you think Caleb Williams is what's gonna be the answer for you.
Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah. No,
I'm just saying that I think that's bullshit. I think that you don't like. There's nothing wrong with Justin Fields. The system is what's wrong with Justin Fields. It's not, and you're not going to put Caleb Williams in there and just automatically assume everything. It all gets fixed. And the the emotional reactions that we saw from Caleb Williams this year shows lack of maturity, in my opinion. And Justin Fields has been through the ringer with the media and knows how to take losses. We just haven't seen that from Caleb Williams. So it's just like, to me, I think that would be the absolute wrong decision. Go after somebody that's actually going to help you build a team around Justin Fields, because he can be that dude. And we saw flashes of that last year. And he's also shown that this year with the hand that he's been dealt.
That's what I'm getting at, Brad, with that. With Tannenbaum said, like, if you're a GM and you think that Caleb Williams can be the guy to change your franchise and turn it around, then it's going to be a no-brainer to take him. But I don't see anything wrong with Justin Fields either. I think it's a lot more than Justin Fields is what Bear fans should be a little bit pissed off.
Well,
about.
let me ask this question then. Let me ask this question, because I actually, when we clip this, we're going to put this on the YouTube channel as a video. I'll put the Micah Parsons part in, where Micah Parsons says that we're going to go around here. We're going to go around. We're going to go to Christmas tree, Zach over to my right, Dad Brad, and then we'll go back to Rocco. Yeah, who's the clown in the suit?
Yeah, there we go. Thanks,
there he
Taylor.
is.
I love you.
He's a good kid. But Micah Parsons thought, with Justin Fields at the helm next year and with the draft picks that they're going to have, or the draft capital they're going to have, he thinks the Bears not only are going to be a playoff team, but can win the NFC North. Zach, do you think that that's a true or false statement?
It's true. I think in another part that, yes, the cap hit changes when Justin Fields has to get paid. So that's different from Caleb Williams. But the Bears can trade the first pick. They don't have to go and draft a non-quarterback with the first pick. They can trade back 2 or 3 spots, and someone is going to give up a lot of draft compensation for a guy like Caleb Williams. And then you are going to have money to spend. You then have a lot more, I guess, ability to then, you don't even have to use those picks to make, selections. You can go and trade those first round picks more. I think it gives you more to do. Like we said, Justin Fields, is he a world beater? Is he a superstar? No, but he has proven that, and he's shown flashes that he can be a very good football player in this league, and you can win games with him. So
in a league where we've seen lack of I don't know what a better term is other than production from quarterbacks this season, Justin Fields has been a guy who's not gotten injured, hasn't missed a bunch of games.
Well, Fields did have his thumb injury that put him out. But when he's been on the field past the first few weeks, he's been very solid.
That's what I'm saying. So let me backtrack on that a little bit. But he has basically been durable for most of the season, and that there's how many teams that would kill to have Justin Fields right now. You know what I mean? So I just think that, and I can't wait to have this discussion as we get closer to the draft, because it's just going to be awesome, and I can't wait to watch all that. But man, I would feel super angry if I was a Bears fan and they did this. They just got rid of Justin Fields for Caleb Williams. They're basically just grenading your,
especially if you can get like a Marvin Harrison Jr. to add to that. Like you can build a very nice. I think that's what Michael Parsons is getting at, is like all of a sudden a DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison Jr. wide receiving room is very nice. Cole Kmet at tight end. That stuff. Yeah. That's a good team. That's a good offense.
Rock, real quickly, we'll move on. You think Parsons' comments, true or false? You think they can win the division next year if he stays?
I think they can if they build around him the right way. I'll keep it simple. Yeah.
All right, we can do that. That's good. And I was about to click on that comment. Paul, every time we start off, we're going to dive into Baltimore. We always do. And we also try to talk about what's going on around and what's spicing the conversations. And coincidentally, Pickens, Caleb Williams, all that stuff, that's what was the topic this week. And actually, we're going to talk quickly about Yamamoto, because that could impact what happens with the Baltimore Orioles here.
Yeah, Paul, chill the fuck out.
Yamamoto's at the LA Rams game.
Just have a beer, man. We talk everything.
Tone it down, Brad. Tone it down, Brad. We like Paul.
Hey, I'm just fucking with him. I'm not serious.
No, he's not. Just like Joe roasted. Roasted us for the time. But Paul, we'll spend a lot on it. And again, all the Orioles questions, by the way, we love hearing them. The reason why we're bringing it as we get into it, just because we want to touch on it all, and we have a lot more planned as we get into the spring. By the way, we don't want to give away anything for right now. But let's talk Yamamoto quickly. We talked the football part. Yamamoto, not that anyone cares, but apparently he's going to a game with Ohtani. The Rams game tonight, is that right? Something like that? So who knows if they're
It's gonna
exactly
be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and who
what does that
exactly?
mean?
Yeah, who?
Neither one of these guys know anything about football, right?
yeah, that's what I was saying. They're gonna see Cooper Kupp,
And
they're gonna be like, oh, okay, and then it's like, no, that's the only good wide receiver. Like they're gonna be so thrown off. They're gonna be like,
Well, and here's the game now. Apparently, and this is why it just doesn't even matter. Yamamoto's no longer to the game if it was reported.
Damn it.
The reality is
No way.
everyone's trying to find a reason of why to figure out where this guy's going. That's really where we wanted to go with this. And it looks like from some reports, I do believe he wants to go to a contending team and he wants to go to a big market team. He wants to be a star. And that kind of limits the options if you think about it, right?
so we had the fake Shohei flight to Toronto and then the fake Yamamoto NFL game.
Yeah. So I think personally, if we're looking at this from a perspective of it, the Yamamoto, and we'll dive into it more, everything is waiting in free agency to see what he does. Not everything entirely, but as far as a lot of teams that are looking for pitching, aka the Baltimore Orioles, are looking to make a move. It's no secret. So are a lot of other teams. It's revolving around this player. He is the guy that some of these big teams want, and some of these trade partners that possibly are looking at him going, we could trade away a Dylan Cease, a Corbin Burns, maybe a Bieber. They're going to wait to see what the market is because the price will go up if Yamamoto doesn't land with their specific team. Rock, we talked about this, but I think Yamamoto, hypothetically, if he lands in New York, the Yankees probably are going to take over as being the betting favorites in Vegas. But if he doesn't, I think it's fair to say the Yankees are going to be aggressive going after one more pitcher.
Yeah, we talked about this on our podcast, Rip and Rock. Like he is the domino that's going to I gotta plug that.
Shameless plug.
You know what? Yeah, I mean it is a shameless plug. Whatever. You know what? I think you guys
continue.
Anyway,
New York Yankees.
Why don't you tone it down in your loud red suit over there, Zach?
I was gonna say, I
think it's screaming at me.
Good. It's a attention grabber.
You do need the lights, man. If you get like the thing to light up, like that's money.
It's gonna be so back one time.
But yeah, it's going to be this is a domino that needs to fall in order for other teams to really know, okay, like we're out on this guy. He's signing with another team. So who can we get? Not as a replacement, but as, another big name starting pitcher that we can bring in if we can't get this guy, because that's what all these contenders you see reports about the Phillies, you see the Yankees, you see other teams that are in on him as well. And it's like, who is going to get him? This is a big sweepstakes right now, because if you look at his accolades and it's like a CVS receipt of how long his accolades are and how good this dude can be, or how good he is right now. So teams want him, contenders want him. He could be a guy that you bring in and he's just mowing people down left and right. So that's what we're looking at right now as far as MLB free agency goes. Once he signs, once a team locks him in, then you're going to see a lot of other players, I feel like, sign. It's going to be like the domino effect that we talked about. Right?
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. The MLB free agency is not like the NFL where they're saying, the dates, what if it's March 13th, and then we're finding out deals March 12th. Sources say this player's signing elsewhere, and it's just a range of players, dozens and dozens of players signing on one day. In baseball here, it's just a waiting game. Because the players are trying to keep the leverage, and also the team, if they want to make trades, they don't want to show their hand yet. And in this case, the person that's really has a lot of the cards in his hand is Yamamoto, because the MLB teams are afraid to make a move on somebody else and miss out on him if he's still interested. So we'll follow it as we always do. It should be fun. We just want to touch on that for a second, but I think, guys, safe to say, should we just take a ride on our Adams Jeep around? Are we riding around it? There it is.
Actually, I guess I should do it like a sleigh. Adam Jeep sleigh.
Rocco, are you on there doing it? There he is.
Let me drive the Jeep.
There he is. Well, hey, this segment here going around Maryland is sponsored by our friends at Adams Jeep. We've talked about in the past. Brad's been riding one up and down the East Coast. That thing's an absolute tank.
Yep.
It's been going for a while. They've been fantastic. But let's dive into what's going around Maryland now, shall we? We're to that portion of the show. First off, Maryland basketball, 2 teams. The Maryland's men's team snuck out a win, Zach, versus Nicholls State. Kind of closer than expected.
Yeah, way closer than expected. It was an 18.5-point spread. So, yeah, it was. Although I gotta just give them credit. I was watching it. Nicholls State was just hitting the most ridiculous shot. So, I mean, you just have to escape with a win, not how they wanted to look. I mean, winning by what was the final? What did they
won by 6?
Yeah, winning by 6 with 18.5. Yeah, I mean, definitely we're hoping to control the game more. I mean, it was like a 2-point game with like 4 minutes left. So it definitely was a lot closer than they wanted to. But a win's a win.
A win's a win, and they have UCLA that awaits, right? So hopefully they get right for that. On the other side, the women's team won pretty convincingly, 78-55 over James Madison. Rock, how about it's a little bit different, but the LSU women's team, the defending national champions, came up to play Coppin State, and the storyline was Angel Reese, who's a Baltimore native, came back and she kind of balled out that game. You got to cover it heading over there. What was the atmosphere like?
Yeah, I was there for the beginning, and then I had to head back to the station to, get all the show and stuff together. But it was really cool. The atmosphere at first, I expected it to be standing room only when the game started, but that wasn't the case. And why that wasn't the case, I realized because I saw the videos like during the game, the line was like wrapped around the building, like it was down the street. There were so many people trying to get in. So once that thing really filled in the second half, I mean, the city showed up to support Angel Reese, to support Coppin State, of course, as well. And Angel balled out, game high 26. She did her thing. Really cool moment for her. Probably a game that she'll remember for the rest of her life, coming back, playing in front of family, friends, fans. The St. Francis Academy women's basketball team was there. That's where she played, supporting her. Mm-hmm. So really cool to see. It's cool when this city supports its own, and it's cool to see athletes from this city go on to do big things. And Angel Reese is well on her way. She already has done so with the national championship. And, next up for her, she wants to pursue her dreams of playing in the WNBA. So, I mean, she's definitely going to end up doing that. So shout out to Angel. It was really cool to see her in person and play.
Yeah, big moment for her. And it's always fun. You always want to ball out when you go back to, and she balled out. No doubt about it. They rolled to an easy victory.
She was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny how that sometimes works. You got to put on a show for your hometown, and she definitely put on a show. Speaking of teams in the region as well, it's not been a good year if you're a Wizards fan, and that's putting it lightly. The Wizards lost again recently to the Sacramento Kings. They play the Golden State Warriors up next. The Wizards sit at 4-22 on the season, guys. The only team worse in the Eastern Conference, let alone just the entire league, is the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, the Pistons. I mean, talk about a bad basketball team. That makes no sense, but that's a whole different topic. Going into the Pistons, they've 25, 26 straight losses?
It's miraculous.
Yeah, I know they're
miraculous
they're about to
in a
set the
bad
record.
way.
Yeah, tonight's their best chance, I will say. Pistons, the entire Jazz, everyone and their mothers on the injured list and out. So, the Pistons are playing pretty much a G League team. If there was ever a night to win it, boys.
Yeah.
There was ever a night.
To give people context, the Pistons are 20 or 2-25. Go ahead, Rock.
The players in the G League right now, I wouldn't want to play a G League team. You see, there's some former NBA stars that are sitting in there right now. They're just chomping at the bit to get back up to the NBA. So don't knock the G League, Zach. Show the G League some love there. Red suit guy.
Yeah, I'm just a hater of the G League and Brock Purdy, apparently.
Well, we knew that.
You need the G League fans coming at you too.
I know, for real.
And then lastly, we got the for as far as the DC teams, the Caps. Look, the Caps they're right in the middle of the Metropolitan Division. They are sitting, it's battling, it's early. Alex Ovechkin is still trying to chase history, but he hasn't scored, guys, in quite some time. He's trying to chase the record from Wayne Gretzky. I saw one comment about, when DC United, when the season starts to come back, we will mention and talk about it a little bit more as we get going. And guys, since the end of the year, Rock, we talked about this earlier today. It was a great year for the Orioles, right? Such a fun year for the squad. I wanted to ask you guys, go around the panel here. What was one of your favorite moments? And for anyone, Brad, I don't know if we have you been doing any polls, by the way, Brad? I forgot to ask.
Yep, I got one up right now. It's for a little bit later in the show, but I said pick the I don't know why I said pick the comment. But I said pick something that's a lock for the Ravens versus 49ers game. For those of you watching, you know how to play along, so I appreciate you. And I also spelled Christian McCaffrey's name wrong. But I said McCaffrey Tud. Lamar Jackson runs for 50 yards. Matabike gets a sack. Brock Purdy tosses a pick. Nobody picked Brock Purdy tossing an interception.
I don't think I would.
Matabike gets a sack is at 33%. Lamar Jackson running for 50 or more yards is at 50%. That is number one. And McCaffrey Tud is at 17%. I'm going McCaffrey Tud.
Yeah, that's almost. He's done it. What, like 19 of the last 20 games?
Yeah.
Every death taxes and McCaffrey finds the end zone.
I'm a Ravens fan through and through, but I mean, he's scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, like no, if they get it in the 10-yard line, he's getting the ball every play. So
yeah,
it's gonna be him.
All right, so that will be great. We're going to dive into that in a little bit. But let's go back. Favorite moment, guys. Who's ready to talk about their favorite moment of this Orioles season? Because there's a lot to pick from. Who would like to go? Rocco, Zach?
Coach.
Rocco, you ready? You're right there on the screen.
Zach's ready.
Zach,
yeah, I mean, if Rocco just doesn't want the bright lights, I'll take him.
He's bright. Yeah, Zach's bright enough.
Yeah, you're bright lights guy.
So my favorite moment would have to be being at the game where we clinched the AL East, because I was supposed to go to the game the next day. So that Friday, I'm sitting at home on my couch and Santander hits the first inning home run and I see the place going nuts. And I was like, screw it, I'm going down. So I grabbed a ticket online, ordered an Uber, and made it by the 6th inning. And we popped champagne in the aisles. I don't know if we were supposed to, but we popped champagne in the aisles as we won. So that was an all-around incredible night. Just vibes after clinching the East were at an all-time high. Just everything about the stadium, walking through the streets of Baltimore after we went to Fed Hill, and like there were people screaming out of their cars at us. So it was awesome.
Awesome. It was an awesome moment for the city. I mean, it was the clinching the playoff spot was incredible. Clinching the division, even better. Brad, you got one for us?
Yeah. Mine's going to be that last series in Tampa Bay. Because Gunnar Henderson just was played like a madman that entire series. Kevin Brown got fired or suspended.
Yeah.
But the game, the series itself was just absolutely amazing. The throw down to home plate from left field was wild. Some of the plays that he made at second was just absolutely insane. The double play that he turned there. And so like that whole series was probably my favorite moment of 23.
Yeah, we saw just how dynamic and that Gunnar Henderson's going to be a future MVP. And really, that was a moment where it switched for the Orioles of you were chasing the Rays the whole time, and you finally passed them. Unbelievable series. Rock, now it's your – come on back, Rock. What you got?
I have one that is not postseason related, like last series or, clinching a postseason berth, because I feel like it just was so cool for Camden Yards this year. Obviously, we had the Homer hose or whatever you want to call it, and then the evolution of the Bird Bass splash zone. On the debut night, when Cedric Mullins hit for the cycle, and he did it with that 3-run home run, I mean, that place went bonkers. That's one of my favorite moments of the season, because you debut something, you want it to be an instant hit, like the Bird Bass splash zone. And I feel like it would have been regardless, but like Cedric Mullins doing that, people watching and seeing that, and then seeing that section and just all of Camden Yards go nuts.
Yeah.
It just showed like, okay, this thing's here to stay. And it was for the entire season. And I really do hope they bring it back next year, because it was awesome.
It really was. And that was electric. I mean, what's that one song with Gwen Stefani where it's
Sweet Escape, Gunnar Henderson?
No, that too. Let's just say what this, like, as far as just the atmosphere. No, the shit is bananas. Oh, How the Batgirl, I think it was. Yeah. Way off. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know why my mind. I'm just saying
How
that.
Batgirl.
So my point was, if you hear me out for a second, hear me out. It was just that whole you couldn't write that script, and the atmosphere was electric. Is that better to say?
BANANAS.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to go for.
Is bananas.
So you know the song.
Everybody knows the song. I just don't know if I would have attached it to the Orioles season. But hey,
also real quick, Joe. No, it's not a clip on. I know how to tie. Fun fact.
I can verify it. I can see it from here. It is legit tie.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna have some. We're gonna have some way more.
It's the one we didn't get invited to. Remember, I caught you on TV with everybody in the suite. Yeah, and you're just taking pictures. Picture guy.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, sorry about it. That wasn't my favorite moment, though. Sorry if it disappoints you, Joe. My favorite moment really was, I think this embodied the entire season for me personally, for the team, of what they meant, what they represented, the grit, the toughness. The Orioles had that 2-game lead, right, against Tampa Bay in Baltimore. And then they lost the first 2 games, and everybody, we got to keep our composure. It's old school. We got to maintain our composure, stay calm. And it was kind of teetering there in Baltimore. And then all of a sudden, they win that next game. And then the finale, that day game, where both teams were going to go to the playoffs, 9th inning, Adam Frazier steps up to the plate, 2 outs, base hit down the line. Mateo scores. The place is going nuts. The Orioles find a way in extra inning, just like they did, it felt like, the entire season. The team that was the best in baseball in 1-score games, 1-run games, find a way to win it, pull it out, and then they never look back for the rest of the regular season to clinch the AL East. I just thought it was such an awesome performance, and looking forward to 2024 for so many reasons. Everyone, it should be a lot of fun. Let me see. What was this? Oh yeah, I guess.
Thanks for the donate, bruh.
Well, thank you.
Jackal.
Yeah, appreciate you.
We'll go around. That's fantastic. It there was a lot of memorabilia that was released, and there's a whole collection of it. And so that was I'm glad that you enjoy that. I'm glad that O's fans, I know, and that was a way for him to kind of share in the experience, and there's too much stuff that's there. So I'm glad that there could be some moments
able to clear out the storage a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
We don't need that. Oh, no, I'm not kidding. Just kidding. All right. It's back up, and it's there, and it's gone. All right, guys, I think it's time we dive a little bit deeper into this massive, week for the Ravens. We know we got the 49ers, Ravens, Christmas night. We'll all be tuned in. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. But before we dive fully into it, a player that deserves a lot of recognition is Kyle Hamilton. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Kyle Hamilton was till this day. I remember when he got drafted last year, I couldn't believe he dropped. And a lot of people had some reservations last year to start off his season as a rookie. Well, guess what? He is one of the best players in the NFL to date, in my opinion. And arguably you can say he's the best safety. Zach, I know you feel similarly about it. And we actually have Kyle Hamilton being talked about on the Pat McAfee show, just on how Brad Wright, his greatness of how appreciated he is for what he's doing for this team.
And actually how he might be getting a little disrespected. That's according to the accounts that Pat McAfee, AJ Hawk were making. So take a listen to this and we'll react to it on the other side.
Hamilton, who I think a lot of people are quickly saying one of the best safeties in the league. I think. Not just like young guy who's good. I think people are saying like whole league guy who is really good. Here's him talking about feeling a little disrespected about what's going on.
I think yes and no. I think internally we don't feel that way. Externally, I don't know what it is, but whether it's the lack of primetime games we've got or whatever, but I think the 11 and 3s are not created equal right now in terms of the 49ers versus us, and we feel a little disrespected by that. I feel like we are the best team in the league, and we got an opportunity in front of the country to show it.
I love that. He said internally we don't feel that way, but also, we feel like we're the best team in the league. I don't know what we're talking about. And then here's him talking about what the quarterback of the team that everybody says is the best in the league.
I mean, the word around the league is he's a system quarterback, and I just think that's not true. Just from what I've seen, he's making every throw that you can make as a quarterback. It's on time, on target, makes good decisions. He's mobile, and he's got a great cast around him at the same time. But, I mean, he's really good, and props to him for It's a pretty cool story, what he's done now, and he's
pretty cool.
an MVP race. So it's going to be a good challenge, but I'm excited to do it.
A lot of respect, maybe disrespect, an absence of respect. There's maybe a thought about maybe not. Two teams think they're the best in the league. What a Monday night, AJ.
Yeah, but two teams think they're the best team in the league, but most people publicly are crowning the Niners, obviously, as that team. And like we just heard there, the Ravens are feeling it. They understand. And there's a lot of power in that when you can get pissed off and know, hey, no one gives us a chance, us against the world, all of that stuff. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the Ravens are equipped to they're always looking for a chip on their shoulder. And that's just been an organization since the start. Anytime that you see the media kind of like being all in favor of the Ravens winning something, I always get nervous. It's when there's a lot of doubts. And right now we're looking at the odds here, and the 49ers are favored by 5.5 points on Monday. So I think that that's a bit egregious. If it was 49ers favored by 3, fine. Because basically all you're doing is giving those 3 points for home field advantage. And it's an even matchup. So, Vegas is kind of giving the edge still to the 49ers, even though both teams are 11-3. Kind of don't understand that. I mean, I get that the Ravens offensive line is probably not as good as 49ers, but I would argue that the Ravens defense is better than the 49ers defense. And we saw the way that the Cardinals carved up that defense as far as the run game was concerned. And you have the number 1 run game in the league in the Baltimore Ravens. So I think it's just going to be absolutely incredible game to watch, and it should be an evenly matched game.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything that we've been hoping for. This is kind of talking about not trying to make the comparison of the 2019 vibes, but remember that game? San Francisco came to Baltimore, right?
Yep.
It was the 2 best teams at the time. Everyone thought that could be the Super Bowl preview.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like it's deja vu. Now, I hope in this case, Ravens still win the game and the Ravens end up going to the Super Bowl as well.
Lamar was shaking guys out of their shoes.
That was insane.
That was ridiculous.
That was prime like Lamar Jackson juke moves.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was special.
That whole year. I mean, it was the Bengals spin move, the Houdini,
Bills.
the Bills game, that 49ers game. Everybody was like, and even though they lost the Chiefs, that Chiefs game too, where he spun into the end zone. Like there were so many crazy plays. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any sort of similarities in this game on Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, on the outlier also, you mentioned the Ravens defense, Brad. I mean, outside of Deshaun Watson having those, heroics at the end of the game, and he played well. He did down the stretch. He made plays. And then Matt Stafford, who, by the way, is playing some incredible ball. Real quick, we on the Rams for tonight?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, all the way across the board?
Yeah, Rams.
Rams, Saints. I'm trying to see who's favored.
It's definitely Rams.
It's Rams. Well, I just want to see it by 4.
Yeah.
Rams by 4. I think it should be more than that. I mean, Rams are playing out of their mind right now, and the Saints are kind of like still limping along. I would take the Rams by a lot.
Yeah.
I think on Undisputed, it was put perfectly, and it was nothing that was said on Undisputed. But the headline of Undisputed with it today was Baltimore feels disrespected being underdogs. And in the same headline, it had the Ravens record as 11-4. They had already given us the loss, and they're saying that we feel disrespected because you're already saying our record is 1 loss worse than it is. So it's those little things. It's like they're defending that Baltimore's not being disrespected, but in their own headline, they have our record as worse than it is. They don't even have our right record up. It's like, yes, it's seen as the 2 best teams are being put together, but that's not how it's being talked about. It's being talked about of, can the Ravens hang with the 49ers? And I've seen a lot of people saying the 49ers are going to win this by 2 scores. Ravens' biggest loss this year is by 7 points. Lamar Jackson does not get blown out.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Lamar is 9-4 as an underdog.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Is he not 19-1 against the NFC?
Yes.
Where do the San Francisco 49ers?
You know what that one?
And he had a great
Daniel
quote.
Jones.
He had a great quote Lamar did on being the underdog the other day. He was just basically like, keep taking us as the underdog until February. He's like, keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Why not?
Well, and that's what you want, right? You want to be considered the underdog because the pressure's off. And not that I feel like the Ravens have been, and we've even seen it now. What team is getting the most attention right now in the AFC? The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills are getting attention and being, are they the most dangerous team? Meanwhile, a lot of people are just, oh, the Ravens won. They're almost
frauds.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that game in Jacksonville wasn't the prettiest. And we talked about it, the Jaguars beat themselves, but a part of the game also is not beating yourself. And the Ravens didn't, besides the one turnover by Lamar. They did everything else right, and they won by 16, right? It was 23-7.
Yep.
Right.
16
So
points.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of the
math whiz over there.
Yeah, okay. I know. Well, I was getting thrown off because I was thinking about all the points that happened in the Rams-Ravens game. But 23-7 with the Jags. You win by 16 on the road against a team that's a very solid team that has playoff and Super Bowl aspirations. And now you're going on the road to face the best team. And by the way, you know the best road team in the NFL is?
Who? Tell me.
The Baltimore Ravens.
No way. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
I'm shocked.
Fire Harbaugh.
Yeah, and so I think the biggest question marks is we're going around.
I like that comment. Brandon Dietz says, name a top defense that the 49ers have played this year. Not many. I haven't actually looked at the schedule hard enough to really make that determination, but it's a good point. And actually, I believe the NFC West hasn't had like that tough of a schedule in general. So like they've all had some pretty good, records. The Rams, obviously, Seahawks, held their own, 49ers, and then, the Cardinals are who they are. But, they've all had a pretty soft schedule. So it's a very good point. And so the record, this is another thing that just popped in my head. Record against the AFC North is they are 1-2.
Oh, yeah. They're
1-2. So they have yet to play. So they lost to the Browns, and that was to a beat up Browns against
that was a very PJ Walker. That was a disgusting rain game.
PJ Walker. They lost to a healthy Joe Burrow in the Bengals, and they kicked the shit out of the Steelers. But in game 1 of the season. But I keep saying this: AFC North is not easy division to beat, no matter who you are.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say about the Super Bowl preview, Adit brought up. This is my favorite conspiracy theory going on right now. The colors of the Super Bowl. It is. Someone remind me. It's like the past 6 years, the Super Bowl colors always announced a year prior. The logo, the colors in the logo, always represent the teams that are playing in it. And throughout the years, it's past 6 years, it's been right. And this year is purple versus red.
Yeah.
And unless the Vikings are making an incredible run, I love our odds as the purple team.
Yeah, I do too. It's crazy that, if you're believing that, I guess the script's already out. Rocco, you got the script, right?
Yeah.
They send it to you guys.
No, Zach's dressed like someone who would be a conspiracy theorist. Kind of got the vibe.
I did a tinfoil hat on. I'm the guy at the bar, like 9 beers deep.
All over him right now.
Yeah, I'm alone at the bar, 90 beers deep, trying to explain to you why the Super Bowl logos are actually like the script are.
You're the dude with the hat that has the beers on the hat with
We should I'll get one of those.
He kind of reminds me of the
that's 100%
exactly like the aliens guy. I know he wasn't wearing a hat at the top, but like
aliens. I need to go crazy hair.
Yeah.
Well, you have it when you don't wear a hat.
Yeah.
So we see that it's back on, maybe for the best, but I still like the no hat. And Rocco, see, you look good. Hair's looking good tonight, man.
Anyway,
it is. That was a compliment, and I got the hair gel in the back if you need it.
Hey, can we real quick? What has impressed me the most about the Ravens? Like to get to this point, the 49ers are such an impressive team as well. The weapons they have, offensively and defensively, like what better gift on Christmas for football fans than to have this game on Monday night? I mean, it's beautiful. Right? The best team in the NFC, the best team in the AFC. But with the Ravens losing J.K. Dobbins, losing Mark Andrews, and now losing Keaton Mitchell. I know Mitchell was recent. They haven't played a game without him yet, but finding ways to win.
Yep.
Harbaugh talked about the December wins. This is a big one. This is one where that this group right now on the Ravens side is strictly business. And the group on the 49ers side, they're strictly business as well. So it's like, this is like the iron sharpens iron mentality. If these two teams, regardless of what happens in this game, whether it's a 49ers win or a Ravens win, it's going to make both teams better going forward. And I would love to see this as a Super Bowl matchup. I feel like if you get this and it's a game that lives up to the hype, everyone expects it to be just hard hitting, big plays, great football. I mean, who wouldn't love to see that in the Super Bowl, except, fans of the other teams, not.
Yeah, besides the other teams and their fan bases, every other team. But the talent level is tremendous. I think the biggest storyline for this specific game is going to be the defensive line of the 49ers versus the Ravens offensive line, and how can Lamar Jackson continue to make his plays. And
improvise,
improvise. And it's not a matter of if with Lamar Jackson. It's really how he's going to do it.
Yeah,
because he's done it every game, but this is going to be the toughest challenge to date.
Yeah, well, and speaking of Lamar Jackson, I would say that if he wins this game, the Ravens win this game, Lamar Jackson's the MVP front runner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think unless Christian McCaffrey
obviously he's got to have a good game though, Brad. Like he can't which he will. If they win this game, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens to win this game, Lamar Jackson has to have a great game.
That's my point.
Yes, I would agree. That's what we said last time. I think you and I both agreed on that. Like, if he wins this game, it's not about the rest of the games going forward. If he wins this game, he's the front runner. He's got to be, like you said.
Well, if he wins this game and if he wins the Dolphins game next week,
it's sealed.
It's a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's a lock.
But the same could be said for Brock Purdy.
It can. We talked about
it's a guy that is what the deal with Brock Purdy. If they win it, he's going to be. They win this game and win out, he's going to win MVP.
Yeah. Brock Purdy's going to win the MVP if he wins out. We initially thought if it's just quarterbacks, take out the McCaffrey conversation. Brock, Dak, Lamar. Dak's out of the equation after that. The loss to Buffalo. I think that people are going to push him down. Lamar and Brock are on the two quarterbacks on the two best teams in the NFL. Makes sense. Now we can make the case for every.
Well, here's what I'll say to that too. If the 49ers went out and Christian McCaffrey scores another 5-6 touchdowns and he doesn't win MVP, it's a quarterback award, period. Hands down. Since 2004, I think it was 4 non-quarterbacks won this award. And in a year where we've probably seen the worst quarterback play in a very long time, and another quarterback wins it, it's a quarterback award from this point on.
And not even that the quarterbacks aren't playing well. I mean, Christian McCaffrey already has 1,800 scrimmage yards and 20 touchdowns, and we're in hanging in week 16. So once again, when I say Christian McCaffrey's the MVP, it's not a shot at Brock Purdy or saying that he's not having an insane season. But what Christian McCaffrey is doing is so special in so many different ways that I think he is more of an MVP, and he should be the MVP.
I think. Go ahead, Rip.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Rock. We're trying to get you back in.
I feel like in the voters' eyes, for a non-quarterback to win the award, I'm saying voters' eyes, not my eyes. It's got to be like a record-setting performance. They have to just, like Adrian Peterson was the last player to win it. That wasn't a quarterback, and that was back in 2012. It's been 11 years since a non-quarterback has won the award. And then it went Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Mahomes, Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes.
No, I mean, McCaffrey won't win it. I mean, I think.
Yeah, but
as much as I argue it, I'm not stupid. He's not going to win MVP. Tyreek Hill's not going to win MVP. I think they should, but like you said, in the voters' eyes, this has become a quarterback's award. It's who's the quarterback of the best team. So I think it is down between Purdy and Lamar.
Well, and since we're talking about it right now, yep, there it is. We'll put it back on. There it is.
Yeah, I know. I'm a undercover agent and
clip it.
Dude, hypothetically, if Brock Purdy just throw some absolute dimes in this game, obviously I'm not hoping for a Ravens loss, but
I think you are.
If Purdy just shoves it in your face, has an unbelievable game, 5 touchdowns, Niners fans are going to just absolutely destroy you.
Good. Keep the interactions coming.
The hope is that he won't. In the Ravens defense, I don't see them giving up 5 passing touchdowns, but you're gonna
if you get the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hands, you could.
What's that?
If he gets the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hands, he could.
Dude, listen. Did you see the touchdown pass he had to Deebo Samuel? The second one the other day.
To Christian McCaffrey when he was wide open. Deebo.
Yeah.
The back shoulder fade.
Yeah.
How about But then there were
That was
3 of his
beautiful.
4.
He makes,
he
he
had
makes
one.
some really great throws. Like,
Yes,
come
he
on.
does. But when he also just tosses it to wide open
You're
Deebo
a
Samuel.
hater, bro.
That's such
Good.
that's such
I'm
a
a
hating
hater.
comment.
I
right
know.
there.
I'm just
Hater.
good. Call me a hater. He's a top 3 quarterback in the league this year, but I'm a hater.
Well, no, you go. Yeah, he's a top 3 quarterback, but he throws open passes where everyone
He
thinks
does.
the work.
Not his fault that the guys are wide open. That Christian McCaffrey's making his job easier. I mean, if the guys are wide open, he still has to get it to them. But I'm not going to put him over the guys that are getting wide open.
I caught a lot of heat for saying that if you put any sort of top 15 quarterback in that system, that they're going to do well. And all I gotta say is just look at the Bengals. Okay.
Yeah.
Jake Browning is also, you plug him in there and he's also fucking balling out. So like if you take somebody else that is of equal or better than Brock Purdy's talent, also going to have an incredible year just because there is so much. Brock Purdy is making less than $1 million this year.
Yeah.
The rest of the salary there is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Highest paid defensive line, I think highest paid offensive line in the league. And you're able to do that because you're paying your quarterback like $800,000 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps. And by the way, here, Brandon, the point about if anyone deserves a non-quarterback MVP, it has to be Hill. Well, now Hill missed a game, but if he gets to 2,000 yards in the 16 games that he does play, I think that's very worthy of him.
He'll get votes.
He'll get votes then.
And
now,
I agree he should be getting more votes.
He was my front runner before the injury, and it sucks. But
yeah,
if you get to 2,000 yards and do something that hasn't been done in NFL history, I mean, you have to be at the top of that list as far as voting goes.
Yeah, you talk about most valuable. When Tyreek wasn't playing in that Titans game, we saw what the Dolphins were, and obviously they had a really great game last week. But
they had a great game last week.
But I think that Tyreek makes that team, and in a similar way that I think Christian McCaffrey makes the Niners offense.
Yeah. Well, I think in those cases, you're right. Those players take it to the next level, right? The Dolphins are not the same with Tyreek Hill. Without him, the 49ers look different without Christian McCaffrey, but Brock Purdy now makes the 49ers look even better with the talent around him. I think he deserves that credit to
100%.
him. And if he went down right now, though, I don't know. I'd have to see what happens. I know they have Sam Darnold's the backup quarterback. Yeah. I don't think I'd be confident to say that they're going to go to the Super Bowl without Brock Purdy. And that's what you're looking at. His value to the team, I think, is underrated. And I do think he's in a case of, and maybe it's going to have to take when the talent isn't around him for him to not be able to prove himself to say that he is better than people are giving him credit for. But he does deserve to be in the conversation. There's so many great storylines for Christmas about what you want to see. I mean, we saw him with Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen. Then you also have Fred Warner and Greenlaw on the other side. Mm-hmm. You have that tremendous D-line. You're going to have these great matchups inside. And you have this Ravens secondary, and you got Kyle Hamilton. Matabike is trying to continue to chase history, trying to record another at least half a sack. I mean, this game has everything.
Awesome.
You know what? It's awesome. It's literally, what could you ask more? I can't wait to have a nice tequila, maybe 2 or 3, and enjoy this game and sweat it out and take a shower at 2 a.m. because I'm nervous and I'm stressed. But
baby.
Yeah, but the other part.
Like, you're not. I'll just make one more point. If I know that the 49ers aren't going to Super Bowl without Brock Purdy, and they're also not doing that without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
The depth chart. You have Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason. Don't know who that guy is. Jeremy McNichols is their backup running backs. Ain't happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
Christian McCaffrey is that security blanket. He just is.
He is.
It does everything.
But that can be a conversation for a different time. I do think that they can survive. If Christian McCaffrey changes their whole outcome, but if Brock Purdy at the quarterback position goes down, I don't think they have a chance. If McCaffrey goes down, it makes it tougher, but I feel it's still all right.
Yes. If you take Brock Purdy off that team, it's also a completely different team. I don't care how many playmakers you have. I don't care how many other playmakers you have. You take him off that team. They are not as good of a team as they are right now. They are not the top of the NFC.
Right. I agree. And you know what, though, because we talked about this as a Christmas gift. Like, we're breaking this down, and I'm a big fan of the 49ers in general. Like, I just love their style.
See that, Joe? You hear that, Joe? He said he's a fan of the 49ers.
Well, I mean, I respect it. I do. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. I mean, I'm Baltimore through and through. I love the Ravens. It's Ravens over everyone, right?
We're trying to tap into that Niner Nation fan base now.
But you respect the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And you know what was funny? I wanted to bring this up. There was a tweet that was put out, or I put out the other day, Zach. I think people took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Instead of saying what their favorite moment was on the season, they decided what their favorite moment would be on Christmas night.
Yeah, I love it. We got some incredible predictions. We had Daniel Falalele touchdown. We had Charlie Kohler, multiple touchdown quarterback sneaks. I mean, it was incredible. So it got us thinking, what would be our ideal Christmas present from the Ravens?
So did you have that off the gate? Do you want to start it off?
Yeah.
It's got to be an obscure one, right, Zach? It's got to be like obscure, like something that probably won't happen. But
Yeah, I'm thinking we all saw the James Prochet just failure of a downfield wide receiver pass last year. What if we get some Odell Beckham Jr. to Zay Flowers touchdown?
Oh,
Let's get a little wild here.
Are we getting freaky?
Oh,
That's a
we're
little
getting
freaky.
Yeah. Oh, baby, we got wide receiver to wide receiver action.
You got to usually pay extra for that action. That would be amazing. Like, we haven't pulled it out yet. If it's not getting pulled out in this game, then it's going to be in the postseason. It's happening at some point. It's in there. Wow, that Prochet pass. That's stuff of legend. Brad or Rock, you want to go next on what a Christmas special or gift would be for you? Rock, you got one?
I think just because, like, we talked about would the fullback position even really exist in Todd Monken's offense this year, and what would Pat Ricard's role be in the offense?
God damn it.
How did I steal yours?
Yeah. No, keep going.
All right. Because mine might be different from yours.
Yeah.
Pat Ricard last year when they played, I think it was right around the holidays. He had like this light up Christmas sweater. You could tell the guy loves like the holidays. He just like he's a funny guy, and it's like the pancake Pat mentality. Well, I would love to see a Pat Ricard receiving touchdown of 10 or more yards. I obviously don't think that's going to happen, but imagine him just rumbling into the end zone. The celebration would probably be unreal. I mean, that would be something for the ages if that happened.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that one. What I want from the NFL Santa Claus this year is I want Pat Ricard to score a touchdown, but I took it a step further.
Oh,
Okay.
Ravens get on the 50-yard line. It's 4th and 2.
Oh, boy.
They decide to punt it.
Oh,
But Jordan Stout tosses the ball to Pat Ricard, and Pat Ricard runs for a 50-fucking-yard touchdown.
That's incredible.
Okay,
That would be electric.
So
The
Jordan Stout throws the touchdown pass to Pat Ricard, and Pat Ricard runs 50 yards.
I love this.
So I'm trying to figure out here for a second of what the formation would be. Do I stand up here for a second? So if
He's
Stout,
punting still.
yeah, he's punting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Stout's punting, but Ricard's probably would be inside. You're not going to put him outside as.
Yeah. He would. It's like he runs.
Yeah.
So is it kind of almost like, they have that inside shuffle pass, or does Ricard act like he's blocking and just run up the seam?
No, he's got. I think he kind of like kicks out to the side. I don't know if I trust
Like
Jordan Stout throwing over people.
No.
He's got to kind of like.
So like go to the flat.
Yeah, he's got to kick it to the flat. Also, I do want to point out in 2016, I had to look this up. OBJ was 2 for 2 in passing attempts. Both were touchdowns.
Oh my goodness.
He's actually got a freaking
Yeah, he
cannon
actually
for an
has a
arm.
really good
He's
arm.
got a cannon for an arm.
Mhm.
Doesn't he throw
quarterback.
lefty too? Or am I making things up right now?
No, he throws righty.
He does
Best
throw
quarterback
righty.
best quarterback in Ravens history is Sam Cook.
Yeah, he was
6 for 6.
Woo.
No, he actually had one incompletion. It happened
did
in
he?
his final year, and it was like a big deal because he had gone his whole career, and in his final year, he threw an incompletion.
No, still the best quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I see a couple things here. Health permitting, maybe we get our own version of a tush push.
I would love the follow like tush push.
And then we have another thing, same concept, right? Tutty on the goal line, nothing better than O-line spiking. I'm so on board with that.
Hell yeah.
I love big guys getting touchdowns.
Linderbaum scoring a fucking touchdown.
Oh, make it happen.
It would be electric to see that. It really would. Now, you know what I was thinking about, not in this case, but as an entertainment piece, if we had both fullbacks score, by the way, you had Juice on the 49ers and you had Ricard, like that would just, talk about the old school football. You know what's also just as good as seeing big old linemen score? How about big old defensive linemen picking a ball off and taking it to the house? That's exactly where I was going with this. I would pay, maybe next month's rent here with the studio, maybe not that, but we need that. But I want to see a big guy get his hands on, if it's a miraculous play or not, but get his hands on it. And I want an entourage leading him all the way to the end zone. I think that would put Baltimore in a frenzy. If that happens, I will take 3 tequila shots and I'll record it on the spot, one after another. That would fire me up.
He was out of gas. Rip, he didn't even want to celebrate with Brent Urban because he said he was out of gas. Something that would be kind of like realistic though, if they were working on it this week and they were like, okay, like we're gonna put him in and put him as the the backup quarterback this week, or just elevate him, would be a Malik Cunningham to Lamar Jackson touchdown. A little trick play. Line Malik Cunningham up as a receiver, because I'm pretty sure Harbaugh said they're going to work him in at receiver as well a little bit. And then just him come across, like not like a Philly special, but similar to it. Come across, Lamar
so
goes out.
Would that be a Louisville special?
No, okay, here.
It would be.
This is the play I need run. So I've been thinking about this. Here we go. I'm going to share it. I just pulled it up. All right. This is the play I need run.
I think you.
All right. Look at this. Look,
my
handoff and then Malik. Oh my goodness. It's an option turned into a throw. Beautiful.
Dude, and we have at practice, I've seen Lamar catch footballs with one hand. Like, he seems like he's got pretty good hands as well. So, like, I don't know.
An athlete.
Hey, hey, look at that compliment. We don't get a lot of those from Joe to Rocco.
Hey, Joe, why don't let's listen. You know what, Joe? I was going to be nice, and I was going to pick in between the numbers you gave us. But now if you give me like 150 to like 190, I'm going to go ahead and pick like 119 or 120. How about that, buddy?
Fighting words for Rocco.
Oh. Hey, can we are we done with this topic?
Yeah. I think we got safe to say we're excited about the game. Let's move on, Brad.
Absolutely.
What we got?
Was Uncle Bill in Seinfeld?
I saw that. You know what? I haven't seen that one, to be honest. And I guess I haven't gone back and watched. I'll be honest. I just wasn't a big Seinfeld watcher.
Yeah, me either.
So I'd have to go and watch. But if it's in the case, if that's the case, got to see it. Got to see Uncle Bill in action.
I know. We got to Google that. Are you Googling it, Zach?
Yeah.
Find it for me. I want to see Uncle Bill in Seinfeld. That's pretty cool.
It'd be electric.
Red zone.
Was
Rams are in the red zone already?
Yeah. Come on.
Was Calvin in a TV show?
I don't know. They put him on some commercials at times.
That doesn't count.
Well, you know what? One thing
he was the milkman.
No, yeah. You know what? It was funny. People like the amount of milk conversations I've had growing up as a child is countless. But him and my dad had, my dad and my sister had a Coca-Cola commercial that was pretty iconic. They left me out because they didn't think my acting skills were that good yet. I guess it was more heartfelt father-daughter.
Were you in diapers still?
No, I was like 7.
Oh,
but apparently I had trouble saying like, "Hey, Dad," for a Radio Shack commercial. So it was tough. That's out there too, by the way.
I'll have to look that up.
And there's a Quaker State one. Shout out Quaker State, where I was a part of that one. But I can't remember if he's been in the show. It's hard to keep track of what he's done.
Yeah.
Just
curious.
I can't keep tracks on him. Can't keep tabs.
No, nobody can.
Hey, Ronald, Merry Christmas. A lot to be grateful for. It really is. This is a fun time. 'Tis the season. Baltimore sports is in a period where hopefully this next 5 to 10 years is something that people are going to enjoy all year round, right? That's the goal. That's what we want to see. Did you find anything?
I saw him Bill reacting, but I haven't seen any clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while we're thinking of that, and because I feel like we kind of already tackled the whole discussion of MVP.
Yeah.
Like we just went deep into that. What about last thing before our game picks? We're getting towards the end of the season. I'm starting to see some talks about Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Right. So, Brad,
yeah,
you actually were the one that was spearheading this. And I think it's a great topic.
Yes. So, because I've been thinking about it for the last several days, and I was just like, you know what, maybe this is a good time. We got three more games to go before the end of the season. Rather than wait until the season's over, I thought perhaps maybe this would be a good time to talk about it. And if Kevin Stefanski isn't the Coach of the Year, I don't know what anybody else is watching. The guy has gone through four quarterbacks this season, and is most likely going to get his team in the playoffs with A1 Joe Flacco, who's questionable this week. But
thank God, he's being too elite. he's being
ridiculous. I mean, like some of the plays that have been drawn up and the way that he's been coaching this team and the chemistry that they have built in the locker room, that is all coaching. And so I just think that Kevin Stefanski deserves Coach of the Year. I don't know who comes in above him.
I think he's definitely a great candidate, especially given what's happened. They've won games with PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson,
DTS,
right?
DTR,
Joe Flacco, but they got Joe Flacco now. Like that was the best decision of the season for them.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, they find ways. I'm with you. I think he's a great candidate. Now I'm stuck because I had one. Rocco, do you have one off the top of your head?
No, not off the top. Give me a second.
Also, Puka just scored, so you're welcome, Rocco.
Did he?
Let's
go, baby. Come on.
That's what we need.
Fantasy advice.
Talking
You're
about.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. You know why? It's because they gave Shohei, obviously, for obvious reasons. They gave him the 17 Rams jersey. Puka, also 17. So, little connection right there. Shohei in the house.
So it was nothing to do with when you asked us who to start?
Not at all.
Okay.
You got to ride with your dogs, man. You got to ride with the guys through the season. You would have been so mad if you didn't start him.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Ride with them. Ride with them. Hey, and
I
also,
was thinking out, and I need the Rams to give up like 30 points. So the kid I'm playing, he's got the Rams defense. I need the points to start at 10 just to go down gradually.
Let's all follow Rocco's, either quest for a championship or his downfall into misery. So
I got a Coach of the Year though.
Please.
If I'm gonna argue someone, I would say it's Steichen on the Colts because first I'm gonna say first year immediately you are thrown into your star player hates the owner, hates everything, doesn't want to play. You have this big contract situation.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. And then Anthony Richardson goes down. So now your first round pick quarterback is injured. You're having Gardner Minshew and they're 5-1 in the last 6 games. I think Stefanski, like you said, 4 quarterbacks. If you have
and they beat the Ravens.
Quarterbacks. What was that?
I said, and they beat the Ravens.
Yeah,
that's a big win. Looking at who they've beaten and who they've lost to this year. They haven't really beaten great teams, Ravens aside, and then you got the Texans as well. But you look at who they have beaten, and that win's going to hold weight. A win over the Ravens. Come when it's time to vote.
No, I think Stefanski, especially when, like you said, they have wins over the Ravens, a win over the Ravens. They have a win over the 49ers. I think his stat sheet, like his resume this year is Coach of the Year. I think he does, but I think Steichen should get some votes. I'm sure Harbaugh will get votes if the Ravens go on and get the 1 seed, but I do think Stefanski's the guy to get it.
Well, how about this? Still stick in the AFC South. D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
How about that? It's a 3-way tie, by the way, with the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans atop the top of the division.
Yeah.
And without CJ Stroud, they started Case Keenum and pulled out a victory. Yes, I know the Titans aren't having the year that they want, but they were supposed to be a top 3 worst team.
Yeah.
And yes, CJ Stroud looks like the dude, right? But I think that was so impressive. I think another guy can get consideration depending on how the season finishes out. And I think they need to beat Dallas for this to really solidify, would be Dan Campbell.
Oh, don't steal mine.
Oh, well, you like Dan Campbell.
I do.
I'm surprised nobody brought up Mike McDaniel.
Well, hey, Rock, can you explain why with Dan Campbell even more?
I think Dan Campbell, what did they have? Hard Knocks last year, and that's not, it was all this hype that was just building last season, and then you miss out on postseason play. But what Dan Campbell has done with a Lions team that was, 3-12 in 2019, and he's building them up. They're 10-4 right now on the season. He's done a fantastic job. He's a guy that I would run through a brick wall for. D'Amico Ryans, though, to be in the situation that the Texans were in the last couple of years, and for him to come in, that's like, for me, it's got to be Campbell, D'Amico Ryans, and Stefanski are like 1A and 1B right now. Like, I don't think any option that we just said is a bad option. I don't think if one of those three guys wins it, we're going to be like, why the hell did that guy win it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The other part too, I saw
And
we
the
just
Chiefs.
mentioned.
Blondes.
Yeah. So the other part was saying what no love for Mike McDaniel. We did Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins tremendous. He's changed the entire culture of Miami.
Yeah.
Brought to a life, brought energy to the team, and people in the team just seems like they love to play for him. But the only problem with the Dolphins I have right now is if they don't end up winning this division, they got some tough games. They got Dallas coming to town, then they got Dallas, Ravens, Buffalo.
Oof.
If they win those games, Mike McDaniel probably then would elevate himself towards the top of the list. But he's got to get by those games. So I think that's why when we're looking at this other case, the Colts and the Texans, if you had said that they would be playoff teams right now or in the hunt of it at the top of their division, I think everyone would be, you're kind of crazy. You're nuts, to your guys' points. Kevin Stefanski, because of the fact that, once again, you don't have your quarterback, and yet you are still you beat some tremendous teams, and
you have your fourth quarterback.
Yeah.
And it might be the best of
Finding
all.
ways to win.
Yeah.
Just finding ways to win.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we go through game picks then, and we'll kind of get out of here. Is that cool with everybody?
Works for me.
All right, Rocco, do you want to get the clock going?
I might honestly get out of here so I can get back to work and you guys can.
All right. Well, hey, let's give a round of applause for Rocco, everybody.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, get out of here. You know?
Yeah.
Rock, it's
You
good to
overstayed
see
my
you.
welcome. I don't feel like being the clock operator for this
Yeah,
one.
get the
Let
fuck
Zach
outta
get back to doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove him. Okay. Oh, and he added
Remove what's still here, buddy.
Get
That's
off
like the
the-
Undertaker. I'll never leave. Goodbye. I'll leave on my own terms.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He left. He
Shut
left.
the fuck up.
He left because he
God
wanted to,
damn.
not because we told him to.
Just keeps talking.
And he still hasn't left. He's
Yeah,
just,
he's just
sitting
sitting there.
in the back. But Joe did wish you Merry Christmas, Rock, if you can see it. He still likes you somewhat.
Yeah.
'Tis the season. All right, let's get into some game picks, shall we, Rock? You're a good kid.
Yeah, let's do it. So obviously we picked tonight's game, and before we do anything, guys, before the clock starts, we do have records to cover.
Oh, yeah. Actually, was last week a good week for me? I don't know.
Last week was a good week for most of us, except for me.
Oh, let's go. Building some ground.
Actually, no, you didn't have a great.
Damn.
Yeah, you were 8-16 last week. You lost half your games.
Oh, 8 of 16. Okay.
Ryan was 10 of 16, and I was 10 of 16.
Damn, I was
Zach,
the worst.
So who's still in first?
you are still in first
Oh,
by 2%.
okay.
You have a 2% lead on me. I got 64% of my games right. You got 66, and Zach has 59. So if you're going to bet outright, Zach's not your guy.
Yeah, I get too caught up in trying to go underdogs. I'm gonna do it again though.
I mean, I pick underdogs too, but we just picked the right ones.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Game picks. Let's get on that clock. Brad, you lead us off. This is your time to shine. You ever seen The Longest Yard, Brad?
Have I never? What? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Brucey's time to shine. Brad's time to shine. Here we go.
Goddamn popcorn.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right. First up, we got Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favorite. Oh no, I'm sorry. Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 points. I'm gonna take Cincinnati. Jake Browning.
Yeah. No Jamar Chase, but still, I think Cincinnati's just a better team.
Easy one.
Yeah, I am gonna I'm gonna differ. I think the Steelers, something's got to give. And I think that weird things happen in Pittsburgh. Give me the upset with no Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Next up, I think Vegas is expecting another Raiders-Chargers type game because it's Bills at Chargers, and Bills are favored by 13.5 points in LA. I mean, the Bills are going to win, but goddamn. I'm going to take the Bills, and I'm going to go points here, 42.5 point, more than 42.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. I think Bills probably actually cover that too. I just don't trust what the Chargers are doing right now.
Yeah, no Keenan Allen. Easton Stick is the quarterback for the rest of the season. Maybe there's some energy after Brandon Staley was fired. It's got to be better than it was defensively, right? But
if they give up more than 63 points, they should not show up to week 17.
Sean Merriman should be the coach. I'm just saying.
He maybe very well should be. Absolutely. I think Bills win this game, and I think I'm with that, Zach. I think they win convincingly.
Next up is Indianapolis at Atlanta. Indianapolis is Colts are favored by 1.5. I mean, I'm going Colts. Atlanta is just way too unpredictable. 44.5 points is the total points there. I'm going to take the under.
Yeah. Atlanta refuses to use their weapons, and I refuse to pick Atlanta now.
I don't even know what to think, but the Colt, give me the team that's defense has been forcing a lot of turnovers, and Gardner Minshew mania is back.
Minshew mania, baby.
Give me the Colts in this game.
Next up is Green Bay at Carolina. Green Bay is favored by 4.5. I think it should be more than that. Jordan Love, has been a little bit unstable since that Giants game, and they got torched by the Buccaneers last week. But I still have faith in Jordan Love and Green Bay. Taking Green Bay, it should be an easy win, and I think it's going to be more by more than 4.5.
Yeah, I think they bounce back. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah.
Go Packers. But hey,
go Pack, go.
Panthers got to win, but they couldn't really put up points. I think I think the Packers, they're playing for their season. They win this game.
Chuba Hubbard runs for 120 yards. So.
I could see that.
Next up is Cleveland at Houston. Houston is favored by 2.5.
You sure about that one without CJ Stroud, or has it changed? Because CJ Stroud probably is not going to play in this game.
This might be if CJ Stroud plays. This is what FanDuel has right now. So I'm going to take Cleveland. I think also they might be taking into account that if Joe Flacco doesn't play, because he is questionable with a shoulder injury, I believe.
Yes.
So if he doesn't play, then it could be Houston that actually walks away with this game. So it's going to be a bit of a coin toss. If Joe Flacco plays, I'm taking Cleveland.
I'm going to go Houston both ways. I think Houston I don't know what it is. I really like what they're doing right now.
I like Houston's belief, but at this point, with no CJ Stroud playing, I think Joe's not sitting this game. And actually, so Cleveland, I'm checking it right now. Cleveland is favored by 2.5. I think the Browns find a way to win this game, even though I want Houston to win. But if Joe plays, I can't bet against Joe right
Clearly,
now.
I don't know how to read. Detroit at Minnesota. Detroit's favored by 3.5. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody, okay. Detroit's favored by 3.5, and I am going to take Detroit. I think Detroit beats Minnesota by more than 3.5.
Yeah, Minnesota's luck ran out. They were on that fun little magic carpet ride, but
Creed just ain't doing it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this Lions team has got a lot of good ball players.
They need to. If the Lions play like they did last week, that the Vikings, this should be an easy win for Detroit. But I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think Detroit wins, but this is going to be a sweated out, down to the wire, Lions pulled out.
Suck Bowl of the week is Washington at the Jets. Washington's favored by 3. Whatever. Washington.
Give me the Jets. I can't trust that Washington's defense.
Sam Howell's playing for a job next year, probably. So I'm gonna go.
I think Sam Howell's earned the job for next year. I just don't know who's going to be. We don't know what's going to happen with just their entire roster. Both teams are feeling like they've lost hope. But give me the team that's lost hope at home. Give me the Jets.
Seattle at Tennessee. Seattle's favored by 2.5. I feel like Seattle should be favored by more than that. Geno Smith is supposed to be back this week, so I'm taking Seattle easy.
Yeah, I think Seattle they are a team. They're like the Rams. They are playing good football at a good time.
They're what my dad used to call a spoiler team. You just never they're tough, scrappy team.
Mm-hmm.
Vrabel, he still has his guys prepared. The Titans are playing better defense, but if the Seahawks run the ball like they did against the Eagles, I think they win the game, and they got the better weapons. Give me Seattle.
Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Very interesting. Jacksonville's favored by 1.5. I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I'm riding Baker. I think Baker and the Bucs are playing some really good football right now. Jacksonville there's a lot of question marks there. Obviously, they've had some really good games, but I can't trust Jacksonville right now. I just can't. So I'm going to go to Tampa Bay.
Give me Baker.
Yeah.
I think Baker's playing good football. He's getting the balls to his weapons, and he's not losing them games. And like you said, the Jaguars are reeling right now. We don't know if Trevor Lawrence is completely healthy. No Christian Kirk. Give me Tampa.
Well, here's the thing, too, that Trevor Lawrence still isn't practicing from that concussion he had against the Ravens. And if that's the case, certainly everyone's leaning towards Jacksonville. But I'm with you. Towards Tampa Bay. I'm going to take Tampa as well. I think Baker's starting to learn how to get the ball to Chris Godwin as well. Mike Evans has had a phenomenal season. Slowly, this Buccaneers team might be peaking at the right time.
I'm so pumped for Baker Mayfield, by the way. Like, he's finally with a team that, like, actually fits to his talent.
I saw a tweet about, and I couldn't agree more. Patrick Mahomes ruined like quarterbacks development because they just expect like the Lamar Jacksons of Patrick Mahomes year 2, you dominate. Baker Mayfield was very good for 3 years in Cleveland, and they just gave up on him because he wasn't a superstar. And give him time to develop. Everywhere he's gone, he's proven he's a good winner.
Well, and they made him a scapegoat in Cleveland.
And they did.
And Freddie Kitchens was the coach. That was just a circus. Everything happened, and it even ruined Freddie Kitchens' career because everyone went from Baker having an unbelievable year, then Freddie Kitchens became the coach after Baker's rookie year. That everyone thought that they were going to be Super Bowl contenders. They were going to win the AFC when they hadn't even won the division. And then that set up after that. It was Baker was down after the first year of Kevin Stefanski. When they won that playoff game against Pittsburgh, everything from there on was all Baker's fault. And you got to keep in mind, he was banged up, and it's not that he played his best. But Baker, you're seeing guys love him, and he's having a great turnaround season down in Tampa.
We need to talk more about Baker Mayfield.
We do.
More Baker, please.
Yeah.
Next up is Arizona at Chicago. Chicago's favored by 4.5. I feel like this should be an easy game for the Bears.
Yeah, they just
the Bears defense has just been firing on all cylinders. Montez Sweat is an absolute animal now. He's figured it all out. I'm taking Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I was wrong on Montez Sweat. That was a good move on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we did the video, and again, we're not afraid to say we're wrong about certain components. We were more of the time is if you're going to make that big of a move, do you get the commitment from the player? They locked him up. Okay, great. Now the next thing is, can you see the culture start to change? It's changed with Montez Sweat there. Those guys are believing what they're doing. They're playing solid. And Justin Fields, when he's played, and he played a very tough defense last week in Cleveland, I think they roll Arizona. I think they get the win.
Yeah. Next up is going to be Dallas at Miami, one of the big games this weekend. I know that everybody's talking about Ravens 49ers, but this also has
incredible
huge implications. It should be a great game. Dallas got their asses kicked by Buffalo. Miami is also kind of been here and there because they lost to the Titans at home and then ended up kicking ass last week. Miami is favored by 1.5. This is really, really tough for me. I'm going to go Miami because I just don't think – I think Miami is more physical, and it seems as if Dallas has really struggled against physical teams.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas because I think they got embarrassed last week, and I think they need to come out and prove something. And I think this is a season like defining game for them. If they come out and get their ass whooped by the Dolphins, people look at them a whole lot different.
Frauds. They are frauds.
So I'll take Dallas.
I'm with you on it. Maybe it's the bias for the Ravens, but I'm going to take Dallas as well. And mainly because you got embarrassed in Buffalo. You're supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team. And for Miami, you just had that feel-good win against a rival, but the Jets are the Jets right now. They're not playing well. There's no consistency, and I think that could happen. The biggest difference is going to be the Dolphins run the football like they have or that they can. They should be fine, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more challenging. I think Dallas pulls this one out.
New England at Denver. I'm going to take Denver on this. Denver's favored by 6 points. They had a tough loss last week. Lots of shouting between Sean Payton and Danger Russ. Which I had no problems with, by the way. We didn't really talk about that, but I'm going to go Denver here.
Yeah, Denver, I think just passion. I like it. Dangerous coming in there, high knees and everything. Go kick ass, kid.
You love the high knees and everything.
I think it's just the greatest story of all time. He was doing high knees in the aisles of the plane while they were flying, and his teammates hated him for it.
Love it.
Just incredible.
I love it.
Good all-time story.
And I love Denver in this game. Talk about a team that got embarrassed. They got embarrassed. I think they bounced back. New England, they had that feel good against Pittsburgh, but I think Denver gets right back on track as they push towards the playoffs.
Next is Vegas at Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has never lost to the Raiders. Don't think this is going to be any different this time around. They are favored by 10 points. I thought that perhaps this could have been the year that Kansas City split a series with Vegas. Ain't happening this year. I'm taking Kansas City pretty easily here.
Yeah.
In Arrowhead.
Yeah. I want to take the Raiders so badly, but I can't. You just can't.
Yeah, not in this economy. Give me the Chiefs who
also
I think they win.
Talk about giving it to people. How about we give the ball to Kyron Williams on the goal line? I mean, we passed the ball. Rams just kicked in field goal.
Well, okay, you have the bet in for him getting 80 rush yards, right?
Yeah, but then there was a second bet put in after you told me not to bet him touchdown. After you told me not to bet him touchdown, it's in a parlay. But and the other two legs are looking good.
Okay, but so, that's what makes me mad at you is because you knew that that's not what I wanted or needed. He could get his 80 yards.
Games to go.
Come on.
Okay.
Back on track. New York Giants at Philly. Philly's going to kick the shit out of Tommy Cutlets and the Giants. They're favored by 10.5 points. That's not even close. They got to get their shit together. Nick Sirianni has said as much, and the rest of the team. Jason Kelsey called out his offense too. So I everybody's pissed on that team.
Where is it? Is it in New York?
It's in Philly.
It's in Philly, yeah.
And Philly is going to take it out all over the Giants.
Yeah, I want to take Tommy so badly, but I can't. It's going to be the Eagles, and it's going to be
an ass whooping.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up this, Brad, earlier. Or maybe it was you, Zach. One of you guys. The Eagles are a missed option route between Gabe Davis and Josh Allen away from losing four straight games.
Already 3 straight could have been given 4.
So in that case, I think that they right the ship. They have to right the ship, and they win this game at home.
Do you start Marcus Mariota this week?
No.
Is Jalen Hurts is not 100%, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that was illness though. I don't know if.
Yeah, it was illness.
I thought he had knee.
Well, I mean,
he always has.
He's banged up, but you got to have your guy in there because right now the Eagles are still trying to win the division, and you need to make sure that you can. They can say, yeah, they go on the road. The Eagles right now, with how they are, they need to play in Philly. They need to at least get. They need to get the 2 seed. Yeah. Say the 49ers get the 1 seed. They need the 2 seed, and they need to have as many games in Philly as possible. And Jalen's a competitor. He's not sitting. If he physically can't go, then that's one thing, but he's going to be out there for this game.
Yeah. Next up is Baltimore at San Francisco. San Francisco was favored by 5.5 points. They're playing in San Francisco. I'm going to take San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco. This is the one game that I had circled that I was like, depending on how things played out, I'm going to take San Francisco on this thing. I'm a Baltimore fan through and through, love the Ravens, but I just feel like there's too many weapons on offense that I don't know if the Ravens can overcome that. So I'm going to take San Francisco, especially if it's close late in the game. I'm taking San Fran.
I'm taking San Fran.
we just talked for a half an hour about this.
I just, like you said, it's the one game where I think it's going to be close, and I'm not, as I said on tour, I'm not worried about winning this one. I'm worried about winning the rematch.
That's what I'm saying. So like if it would be really hard to beat them twice in a row. Mm-hmm. So if there was going to be a loss against
that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather it be in the regular season, because if we see them again in the Super Bowl, we'd have their number.
And I do actually wonder about if there will be stuff that is saved, meaning if they don't show everything, because there is that possibility.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good game. Obviously, I will be rooting and dying for the Ravens to win, but if I'm going to ever pick for them to not win a game, I'll do the 49ers.
Yep.
Yeah, for all the reasons, San Francisco should win this game. They're playing at home. They right now are a little bit healthier as a team. They might have the weapons, but I don't give a shit. Give me Baltimore on the road. You are not worrying about a rematch. Give me the Ravens on the road. I think it's a very entertaining game. I love where this defense is at, and I think Lamar Jackson in prime time once again proves how valuable and really just how unbelievably talented he is. Ravens pull it out, and then all eyes go to that Miami game, which hopefully can be the clincher for the 1 seed.
I couldn't pick the Ravens in a red suit. Let's just be honest. Look at me. I mean, could I really pick a non-red?
Do you really want?
Honestly, it's amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you. It would be better with the
incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
You're a good kid. Well, I think that kind of does it, guys.
Yeah.
We
get out of here.
Covered a lot. Let's get on out of here. For everyone that was new to the show, thank you for joining in. We saw some new faces, and we also have our familiar ones that have been riding with us from the get-go. Appreciate you guys as always. We will not be back on Monday for the holiday. All of you guys enjoy the holiday, but I think we might have a special. We might do a show on a different day. We'll be back on that Thursday as well, so don't worry. But stay tuned for that. But above all, be safe, enjoy your family and friends, and we will see you next time for another episode of The Ryan Ripken Show.
Deuces.
That's